on a comment that I had, and it wasn't even anything really. It's just a link from K-May Thrasher on my, I clipped out the Destroy All Monsters Melee Remastered, and they sent me a link to an interview with somebody from Atari to discuss the game, and I figured why not. I'll just kind of do some extra follow-up with that, because I've also heard a couple of things about the Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. It's but I've only just been seeing it more online than I haven't really seen like any real articles that have cropped up, because there's been some things discussed about the reason why they've replaced allegedly Mechagodzilla. They replaced the Heisei era Mechagodzilla with the Showa era, and I was kind of curious about if there was some actual legitimacy to it. And I'm gonna be kind of curious if this, for one, if this little interview goes into it, and also because, like I said, I have not seen anybody really discuss it in any articles and stuff like that. Because I mean, usually these freaking journos are quick to glom onto anything, but I've just seeing it been mostly like discussed by randos, and the like alleged reason that I've seen around online that the Mechagodzilla design changed, which just sounds weird because and I kind of, after replaying Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, I can kind of see it. But so the end boss, it basically, it seems like no matter who you play through, is Mechagodzilla, and that version of Mechagodzilla to be the final boss is kind of a weird thing, because that was the Earth Defense Forces basically, or it was like the Godzilla forces or something like that. I forgot what they called them specifically right now, but to combat against Godzilla. And they built the Mechagodzilla over their time of using things like the Super X, and this came after Godzilla versus Mecha King Ghidorah, so they took the tech from that and then built Mechagodzilla. So that one was basically a good guy Mechagodzilla, the first one. While the Heisei era was very much, yes, the creation of aliens and wanting the destruction of Earth and stuff like that. And so yeah, like it would make more sense to have the Showa era Mechagodzilla as the final boss and stuff like that. And that's allegedly why they've now been showing off the Showa one, because I even pointed out when I was watching the teaser trailer about how it still had the sound effects of the Heisei Mechagodzilla instead of the original sound effects for the monster, and that probably does explain why that was the case. Now, to say replacing it though, it's just weird. Why not add? And so I'm gonna be kind of curious to check out this interview too, to see if they say anything about it here. All right, let's check. Hopefully this isn't too bad. Here we go. And this is, so here we go. The person linked me to a channel called Gaming Trend, and if I clip this out, I'll be sure to link them, saying, "We had a pleasure to chat with Atari." They don't even name the guy specifically, but the guy's just Atari. About Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Remastered during the Summer Game Fest 2026. So let's find out what they have to say about. All right, here we go. Oh, there we go.
Not that far. It's like people have to play your different kaiju. So you'll start. Like,
so we're not even gonna get to see the actual gameplay yet. They're still just gonna be playing off of this trailer. But the adventure mode, I believe I played, and there was no real leveling up, so to speak. It was just basically like a basic story mode. That was it. And I could boot it. I'll boot it up even right now. Let me just do that, because I was pretty sure there wasn't really the adventure mode was just that. It was just it's just the story. This is my first time actually going through this, so I should have I didn't think to have this ready. All right, hang on. I don't even think I have the, it's not on there. I just want to show this really quick. God dang it. Let me get the music going again. Let's at least fill that in. Oh, now it's not taking the... Oh, there we go. Yeah, because there's nothing that indicates that there's like leveling up. It was just a story mode. I mean, I'd say maybe survival would fit more of that, but adventure mode was just the story mode. I'll just pick that really quick. Yeah, and then you just go right into the story mode. Got that going, and then there's nothing that indicates any kind of level progression. Now, unless they're going to change that for the remastered, that'll be interesting. And I would say, if anything, the PlayStation 4 version of Godzilla, that, yes, like for its adventure mode or story mode, had a leveling system. Like, and that was like the whole point. Like, you got your kaiju would grow as you did everything in the missions, as you destroyed the whole the arena, or basically kind of the little set piece that you had. So yeah, like that was true. Like that, your Godzilla or whoever you're playing as would say how you were growing in height and everything like that. So there was that for that version of a Godzilla game, but not in this one. So that's not accurate. But again, that might be something they're maybe adding. Even though it's in Unreal, at least it doesn't have that weird kind of texture effect that Unreal can have when it's still trying to render textures and stuff like that. At least from what they've been showing, like everything looks pretty clean and proper. Like there's times that with the Unreal Engine thing, the textures can look faded. And if you've ever played, like I remember this specifically with like BioShock, is that if you got too quickly into certain areas and it was before the textures could really load, it all kind of had a blurred effect. And that's what I've thought of when I saw like some trailers, especially like for the Metal Gear Solid 3 remaster. It had that kind of a watered down effect of the textures and everything. It didn't look as sharp and as detailed. It looked like I said, it's kind of more watered down and just blurry and not that great. But this, at least for the kaiju and stuff like that so far, the monsters, it's been looking good. So they're using an alpha build, and they're gonna be due out November 3rd this year. I mean, I know this is single player but also local fighting game, but they're gonna be doing, I'm sure they have they are gonna have the online side. That I don't know, that kind of I mean, things can go quick though.
The arenas themselves are slightly larger. There's more build.
If I had one thing I hope that they talk about and do, is that they fix the ability to move the camera around better and it's not so locked into position. So I think for a fighting game like this and stuff, you kind of need that freedom of the camera and stuff. Although now I'm not sure about the Giga Bash game. That stays pretty fixed. Helicopters, jets, the spaceships will also shoot at you. No. Doesn't stop ya! Okay, so it is an actual change. But that's, I mean, yes, it's updating, but again, why not add? That's kind of my point with that. Why not just add that Mechagodzilla to the game? Have them both. Have all three of the Mechagodzillas. There you go. And then hell, then you can even add a third Godzilla. Add the Showa era Godzilla. Because in Destroy All Monsters Melee, you had Heisei Godzilla and Millennium era Godzilla. So let's add a third for each one. There you go. Toho.
All about, unlike, it's not focused on a movie or whatever. These are all. Well, I think it's also about like that.
The funny thing is if the tone of the game, especially when you're playing it, and like all the stuff that kind of happens, feels much more Showa era than it does like the Heisei era, and even to an extent the Millennium. Although this one, I think when this came out, Millennium series was still early on, and it's no, it had Kiryu, so it was at the end of getting towards the end there for it, if not Final Wars era. But like, especially like when you punch and hit, I think I showed it off in the game when I was playing, the way monsters would react when you punch Anguirus's spikes on his back, or like you'd see for Godzilla, sometimes his toes got crunched, and the actions were much more emphasized and a little more cartoonish, or a little more over exaggerated, I should say. So that does feel, and what's funny is like it is, because they were using more of the later designs for the monsters, save for Anguirus, and I think Rodan was more Heisei era look. But it is kind of funny that, because like I said, the actions are very Showa. If you've watched those movies and stuff like that, especially like the later one, the way things kind of got was a little silly and can be childish, because that was kind of the audience more that Toho wanted to kind of more cater to. So that's kind of the funny thing with the game itself. Like those are a lot of the actions that you see, instead of like the Heisei era, which was much more, I mean, it's funny to say grounded, but like you didn't see those sort of over exaggerated like reactions to things like from Godzilla or other monsters. It was a little more of a serious tone that it maintained consistently throughout the whole run.
So Toho has been very involved models, like, or like in the different we don't know, but you know, outside of Toho, also like
wow, imagine that concept, catering to your fan base and wanting to give them the best product. Wow, in current year, it sounds so foreign and so weird.
Number of monster
okay.
movies.
Well, let me see. Okay, so he says goofy monster movies. Like, for the most part, that's how we kind of perceive them a bit. But I mean, even somebody like Ishiro Honda, who is directing a lot of those old Showa era movies, didn't look at them as goofy. Like, he still tried to maintain a lot of the same tone and kind of having like either like certain social messages and stuff like that, just kind of layered in, but very, you know, directly to everyday people. It wasn't, you know, necessarily one thing or another. And especially like when it's like Godzilla's Revenge, which is it's a bad one, because it is nothing but like a glorified clip show movie. But he tried to have things in there that was, you know, of the time, and even pointing out certain things, like especially with the kid and his family, the way both parents are stuck working. There's moments for even the father having a discussion with a coworker about all of it. So they weren't seen so much as being goofy movies when they were being made. So even somebody like I said, and I mean, oh god, the guy that did Smog Monster, for God's sakes, who got kind of excommunicated for a bit from Godzilla to making more. Hang on, let me get the guy's name. Yoshimitsu Banno was, you know, and it's kind of funny too, considering like, yes, it's a very like, you know, pollution bad, and it, I mean, yeah, we don't want a crappy Earth. We don't want to, especially when we see third worlders and stuff like that throwing garbage everywhere into nice places, and it's very, and you know, that's just kind of it. And again, like I said, it doesn't have a one side or the other. I hate to say messaging or whatever, but that, I mean, that's the thing. But it's just very human centric. Like, we don't want that. We want an Earth that we can live and thrive on. And it's funny considering he also kind of takes shots also, like, and that's why I say he doesn't have a side to it. He takes shots at even the youth that, you know, try and like act like they're so hoorah about saving the Earth or whatever and taking protests, and yet they're even portrayed as a bunch of dipshits that get slaughtered. And then you even have like where it's like towards the end of the movie, and there's a scene where the kids are all partying, but then they get slaughtered by Hedorah. But there's like the villagers just like almost like watching from afar, just kind of, I don't know, just looking on in disgust or shame or whatever. But it's an interesting thing considering like his audience would be that group of kids, but he kind of takes a shot. So yeah, exactly. They look a little goofy, but they had heart. I mean, like, it is to us, that's how they can be perceived. They look goofy, and some you know, Honda took issue, and also suit actor, oh god, I'm trying to hang on. I'm like I said, I'm always terrible with names, and especially when it comes to Japanese names. Good luck with me. Hang on. Where is it? Hang on. Haruo Nakajima. Between him and Honda, they were not always wanting to give Godzilla those overly human characteristics, but that was more of from the heads of Toho and creator of Godzilla that was kind of pushing for it. So, you know, it was kind of and as it's kind of been detailed, Honda was definitely just kind of a company man, and he's kind of stuck to, you know, he's like, all right, I'll do this, I'll make this movie when he was asked to. So he was always kind of in it, and if there's also like basically if you want a channel that has to me done some really great kind of reviews and deep dives into a lot of the Godzilla movies, especially from Showa even to the current line, I would recommend the channel Big Action Bill. Big Action Bill here. He has done especially like go back to like his even for the original Gojira watch through History of Godzilla. It's a great deep dive, and all through, although I could have sworn it was an hour long, not 59 minutes. Like it was lengthy. So I know he has gone back and re-edited some of these just because YouTube being YouTube, but he gets a lot of the research from a lot of the books and stuff like that. That's where a lot of the extra tidbits comes from. He really dives into it, and they are great videos. So if you've got some time and you're wanting to kind of learn more, because it is the history of Godzilla, it really goes into just the creation, inspiration, and a lot of that sort of stuff. And even Godzilla Raids Again is a good one for, you know, knowing the follow-up and what was planned, what was done. So yeah, so that's my kind of rant about them just trying to say that they're goofy monster movies. But let's get back to this interview. Go.
Godzilla is just so much a part of culture, entertainment, culture.
Now I see he makes that point that they take it seriously. And Toho, although I question Toho nowadays with the way they've been lending Godzilla out to so many different things. I'm just like, what the hell, guys? Normally I know that they're still very protective, but it just feels like they've been lending out Godzilla to so many different things. And I know it's like hit 70 years and all that, but I don't know. It just felt weird. I already have it. I already got out my wish list for Steam. Although now that they said PlayStation 4, I'm almost wondering if I should get a physical copy for it. But I'll have to wait and see how this game plays and stuff like that, because like it's been very easy to pick up the GameCube version and just jump right into it and have some fun, because they talk about a little bit tweaks and stuff. So we'll see, because otherwise, yeah, the game is solid. Little things here and there could be, you know, fixed up and tuned and everything, but my one thing is I'm kind of curious what they will do with the monsters. And like I said, again, when it comes to that whole Mechagodzilla debacle, like, I get why they want the Showa Mechagodzilla, but it's just weird that they would remove the other one entirely and not just then create an extra space for that Godzilla, for that new Mechagodzilla. Like, even on the roster page itself, put it down. You can make the little circle and put it down by Orga or whatever, and then have the Showa Mechagodzilla, and there you go. And then just replace him for the final fight. Because when you see it, that is basically very much the way the play style is of Mechagodzilla. It does feel very Showa Mechagodzilla. So it'll be interesting. I'm still looking forward to it. I've never been a big fan of the Heisei Mechagodzilla design personally, so I know there are people that are a little upset about it. I think Slosh is kind of a little bummed that they're replacing that Mechagodzilla out for the Showa. I am much more Showa era Mechagodzilla all the way. I think it's the best design, best one. Mainly the original movie too, with the space ape men that created it. Kiryu is kind of a cool design, but it's never been one that I've really gravitated towards. I will always be the OG myself. Son says, nah, it's good to see people passionate about their favorite franchises. Rant away. Well, you got it. Like I said, so at least that is some direct confirmation on the replacement of the monsters. Regardless, like I say, for November 3rd, I'm still looking forward to it. So I'm just hoping, like it is, not too much gets too screwed around with, and it is very much a respectful remaster. I mean, I don't know what you could do with something like this, but at least they were on the right page. The Atari guy, good on them. They're trying to be respectful. They're trying to also please the OG fan base first and foremost, and they're looking forward to just maybe getting more Godzilla fans, because like it is, what did he say? The last Godzilla game was 13 years ago. What did that one come out on? And I mean, I guess then that means, I mean, if this does well, I could only hope that we would see more. No, oh wait, coming out in 2020. No, that's something else. Okay, 2014. Oh, wow, really? So 12 years ago. Interesting. I didn't know it was that. I didn't realize. Wait, really? Huh. I didn't realize it was that long ago. But yeah, so this will be curious. It'll be curious to see the end results. I don't, because like it is, Godzilla is still as popular in everything as worldwide as Godzilla is. I mean, when it comes to the video games, it's still been kind of a tough market. And like it is, game companies, they want those, you know, Call of Duty numbers and stuff like that, the GTA number, the Grand Theft Auto numbers for selling their games. I can only hope that this is a success and maybe will inspire for more, because like I've said before now, I am waiting for my open world Godzilla game. I want to be able to go to Japan. I want to be able to go to the United States and other countries and lay waste to all of them. And yes, you can bring in monster fights and all that sort of stuff. Maybe make it a world tour. You can like kind of pick directions you go, and then go to United States, beat up King Kong and the monsters from the monsters from the beasts from 1,000 fathoms or whatever, and all those sort of monsters, and then, you know, monsters from folklore in different countries and stuff like that. Beat Godzilla and take them all out. And then, like it is, earn different versions and variations of Godzilla to play as and all of that. So that's what I've always wanted. I've always wanted a Godzilla game to do that. So here's to that. But I mean, fighting games are great. They're fun. I just like that ability to destroy shit. So there we go. Yeah, Hassan says there's a dinosaur game where you grow from a baby dinosaur to full adult. Imagine a similar thing with a Godzilla MonsterVerse game. There we go. I mean, nowadays with so many crossovers, yeah, that could work out. But you know, like I said, it's again, kudos to Atari and this gentleman here. I forgot his name already. Hang on, Ethan Stearns here. Like he laid it out well, and like I said, again, that they're trying to go for more of the OG fan base, and if they bring in other people, fantastic. That'll be great. But I like that they're trying to maintain that, and I was probably with the hand of Toho that are trying to make sure things are respected, things are maintained. So that's also the part of it there. One way or another, I will be all over this as soon as it probably comes out. I won't lie. Here's hoping for it. I'm hoping it's gonna be a great one. I don't know if maybe I'll even venture and screw around and fight online. Who knows? We'll see.
Thank you for watching this clip from Respawn Roast Cantina. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see, and check out the full episode.